bought the house back. He didn't want it to leave the family hands, but unfortunately it's bad timing. It's in the late 1920s, or early 1930s. Depression is going on.
Okay.
So even though he gets the house back into his hands, he doesn't have a lot of extra money to fix it to what it should be. So he ends up living in this half, and he rents this half out to other family members.
That's a Schneider.
Another Schneider owns it now.
Schneider man.
But funny enough, it's Sneider instead of Schneider. They've changed the name spelling, even though they're related. They just changed the spelling. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So he rents this half out to other Schneider family members.
Because original German, it should be pronounced Schneider.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah.
But if it's looked at with the S and you don't know the S is SH in German, you would think it's Sneider.
Yeah.
Kind of like the hamburger company.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Little Schneider with the woman on it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, same last name. They're spelled the same way. Different family, though. Yeah.
All right.
So,
and that was a German Dutch with one of these things on her head, right? The picture of the Schneider lady.
Yeah. Now these aren't necessarily just connected to Mennonites. We get that comment a lot. These days. It's mostly Mennonites that wear them, but in that time period, it would basically be anybody who's fashionable would also wear them.
That was fashion for the women.
You've got it. Yeah, very, very fashionable.
And in Europe too. I mean, like that's what women were wearing.
That's where it comes from. Yeah, absolutely.
And before, they were always wearing things on their heads. The women in Europe, right?
Oh, and men. If you leave the house without a hat, you are
a hat, like
a
hat.
Yeah.
So hats were needed.
Oh yes, yeah.
It's a part of culture.
100%, absolutely. More important than a jacket sometimes.
And those are the Stein. They drank their brew from or something.
Not these ones.
No, I'm joking.
These ones are for tea, and mostly coffee creamers in there. But again, this is something that you wouldn't see in modern day conservative Mennonite homes.
Right.
It's showcasing your wealth. That's looked down upon in certain Mennonite groups these days.
This was a wealthy home. This one right here.
They were wealthy, but we're very careful with that word because they're a farm family. And if you take any farm family across history and look at their books, if you just take numbers, they look like they're wealthy. But the problem is, because they have a farm, they're taking all that money and it gets sunk back into the farm almost immediately. So while they might have more money, they have higher expenses as well. Mm-hmm. So they're well-to-do, they're comfortable, but they're not wealthy.
But at that time, did your General Kitchener Berlin man have a home this size? Or not
this is
really?
A little bit bigger than average, that's fair. Part of that has to do with his setup, though, because this family in 1816, or just prior to 1816, they also build a small sawmill. So they don't have to pay for any of this wood to be milled.
Okay.
They do it for their time because they have the equipment here.
They do it.
Yeah. So they don't have to worry about that, and it's all timber frame construction, so they're doing it themselves.
Huh.
Yeah, post and beam, sorry.
Well, they lived to their liking, right?
Oh yeah.
Thanks to God, they had a nice house.
They had more room than they needed, that's for sure.
So this was what? Just to stay warm?
This is the sitting room stove. So this room that we're in right now was only used when you were entertaining guests for the most part.
Oh.
So this stove was only on when you had guests over, and that was usually on Sunday evenings, or if you were having company stay with you for extended.
Otherwise, they wouldn't light the baby.
No.
Huh?
This one here? No.
When they need it just to keep the house nice and warm?
Yeah, this is just to keep your guests comfortable. Most of the time, it's actually that stove in the other room. That's the only stove that's on.
But did that have central heating system?
No.
Like, it just goes up to the top of the roof? Or didn't they have something that kind of like blew the smoke everywhere in the house or something?
There's some houses like that. This one's not one of them.
Right.
This house actually is pretty bad for its heat. But we always think...
And it was bad. It wasn't the best.
No, but we think of heat in a different way. Like, the idea of having your bedroom cold to most people is so foreign.
Yeah.
But for these people, if you're going to bed, why bother spending the money on heat, right? You're covered in blankets.
Cover yourself with blankets, and you
got
got the wife. So
and
if God wills,
you're sleeping, so you've got it, and you don't have to.
With all those blankets on top,
you
might take your head out of the blankets and be blowing cold air with the vapor, but it's more natural.
Yeah.
So when they get out of the blankets, at least they run into the bathroom, but they get warm up by the fire.
Yeah.
That one was going all night.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much going 24/7. Yeah.
But would it get colder at nighttime because the wood's kind of dying down? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. It was pretty cold in here. It'd be uncomfortable for most people these days. Yeah. But it was a different way of living. It's just different ideas of what you need for being comfortable.
My name is Earl.
Earl? Justin.
Justin.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. I was born in Kitchener, Ontario.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I've lived a great chunk of my life close to Medellin, South America.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in Colombia, I'm used to mountain weather,
Oh, yeah,
where every night's about 11 degrees
yeah.
and every day is about 25.
Okay, yeah.
But
Is that Fahrenheit? Or
It's
Celsius?
Celsius,
Okay,
Celsius.
that's good. 11's not too bad.
But 11, where the houses don't have good insulation.
Yeah.
So like basically 11 going into your room.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
imagine sleeping
Chilly, huh?
outside in 11. It's
Yeah.
kind of chilly, basically.
A little bit of a bite, yeah.
But anyways, in Colombia, every night I go to sleep with the good old Canadian hat, like a good
Oh,
old
yeah,
winter
yeah.
Christmas hat or something. And that would do the trick. So in other words, I think I'm kind of a bit habituated to the essence of what it'd be like to just stay warm with the covers and know that if you're dying, you gotta run to the
heat,
good old heater, and that's about it.
That's very good, yeah. That's great.
The natural life, you know, it's
exactly.
good.
Why need to spend all that extra effort? Yeah. No, I agree with you.
So this is the bed.
Yeah, so this is where the parents would sleep. And you can see here they have a couple beds set up for the young ones. General rule of thumb, any young ones under the age of 5, we like to say, would sleep in here. Again, that's fast and loose. Who knows?
With the mother and father.
Yeah, so you have your baby to the side here and your little toddler off to the side here. And the general idea was just keeping an eye on them, of course.
Question.
Yeah.
How would they, as husband and wife, get it on? In front of the children, or they were just making way when they're at school, or they're going off in the field to do it?
No.
How are they doing that? Because I mean, in front of your children, I don't think was the idea.
Very good question. I think it's the same way with parents today. You might have a fun sleepover or something upstairs, or who knows.
All right, they'd make the breakaway. Make the breakaway.
It's always one of those things where like these people, of course, didn't like to talk about that thing, about that stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't really have a lot of information regarding it.
It's a secret.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting study. I mean, there's great courses out there, and there's great books that are written about the history of sexuality and sex and stuff. It's just one thing that doesn't necessarily get talked about all that much. And, but surprisingly, in some parts of society, a lot more than you'd think. Like Victorian England, everyone gets this idea of how stuffy they are about things like that. There's loads of stuff out there
of information.
from that time period. Oh yeah, people would like to talk about that. But it just
they had enough to talk about.
Yep.
in what, the 1600s?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were always calling their kings homosexuals. Or,
oh yeah.
No, there's always something sexual to go on around the block.
There's all kinds of lewd, stuff out there for sure.
So, what are these bed stands or?
No, this room here is just a general storage room.